Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about this 1970s classic vibe Squier Jaguar. And let's get into it. So basically we have a poplar body, gloss polyurethane finish. The neck also is a gloss finish, and it's maple neck and has a vintage tint to it. The fingerboard is laurel, Indian laurel, and you have these big, nice block inlays and this cream binding, which is nice. This one it's black and has a reddish faux tortoiseshell pickguard. Has a Mustang bridge. You have the classic gear tuners. So here you can get a better view of it. All right, pretty nice. We got two pickups, neck and bridge, of course, and all the standard controls that you see on a Jaguar. So basically, when this one here is up, you get these controls, and you have a volume and a tone. If it's down, then you got the tone and the volume, and you have these three switches. So this switch here is, if that's up, that's for the bridge pickup, the neck pickup. If it's down and this one's up, you get the bridge pickup. If they're both up, you get both pickups. And this switch here is a strangle switch, which kind of cuts out some of the lows. So little brief description of the Jaguar controls here. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. So let's go ahead and give it a listen. All right, starting again. As you can tell, it's a different day. I'm doing the actual playing on a different day than the days I did the other parts. Mainly because I messed it up. I mean, give or take. So we got, I'm going to start off on the bottom controls with the bridge pickup selected, going through a Supro Delta King 10. Most of the things are on F5, except for the volume's up very high and the master's down very low, and 50% reverb, a little more or less treble, can't recall. But that's basically it. That product's about $500 for the amp, roughly, or it was when I got it, and this was under $500, so not too bad of an investment for things that sound pretty decent. Anyway, here it goes. Okay, so bridge pickup. and then lastly here we have, we have the strangle switch. So here's without the strangle switch. Here's with the strangle switch. And here's if you lower the tone knob with the strangle switch on. Whoa. Okay, so now for the rhythm circuit, we have it all the way this way. Um, and yeah, so I always see everybody do these octave chords when they're on that rhythm circuit. Well, there you have it. That's classic vibe, 1970s Squier by Fender. Yeah, so see you in a moment. So what are my final thoughts on this guitar here? Well, I'll tell you my experience with purchasing it. I bought it as a demo from Sweetwater, which was great. It was under 500 bucks. I think it was $443, I think. It was set up very nice. I wasn't very used to the short scale guitar, so normally playing a Strat style guitars most of my life. This was sort of a big shock. I didn't like it at first, but over time it's really grown on me. Unfortunately, I've had some bouts with tendonitis, and I really like the short scale now. And it's easier to do bends. It's easier to stretch. So it has a lot of things that are nice. In this particular case, this one's very light. It's 7 pounds 13 ounces. I'm assuming because of the poplar. So it's really user-friendly guitar. The body shape's great. It feels good to hold. The neck's wonderful. And I like the sounds of it. It has nice sounds. Couple problems with it. I don't know if it's because of the nut or maybe the entire routing. I have to take it to somebody who would know. But basically, it seems like the nut maybe is cut to where this string here really slides off really easily off the top of the fingerboard. And I tried to do some adjustments to make it so it's not the case, but I'm pretty sure it just has to do with how the nut's cut. And I don't know if that's to compensate for how it was routed in general. But I want to take it to a luthier and see what they say. Maybe they'll just cut a new nut for me. Another issue I had was just the tremolo. It wasn't staying in tune when I first got it. I was a little bit distraught. and I looked online, and I think it was the Guitaristas. Um, he showed me, or not me, but he showed everybody that if you screw this screw here, um, you know, all the way one way, that the trem basically you can't pull it back this way anymore, right? You can only go down. You can't come back up with it. But it stays in tune. So, uh, if you're a big tremolo user, you probably wouldn't want to use that methodology. And my understanding is that there's other solutions. So, if you know what those are, go ahead and post in the comments. Also, post comments on what you think of this instrument. If you've ever played it or seen it, what you think of it. Um, yeah, overall, my experience has been fairly positive with it. It's a nice little instrument to practice on. It feels weird now going back to a 25.5-inch scale length, so I don't really like it. I do prefer this 24-inch scale length, which is particular to the Jaguar and the Mustang, and I think the Duosonic maybe, and there's probably another model or two I'm forgetting. But yeah, it's a nice guitar. Um, I don't know if we're gonna keep it or if I'll eventually sell it. Um, if I was to keep it and actually try to use it, besides just kind of practicing at home, I'd probably want to change some things. I actually like how it sounds, but maybe I'd change the pickups. I'd probably change the tremolo because the string sits right on top of the screw heads, which kind of feels weird. Same with this one. And obviously the nut I would change. Unfortunately, I'm not crazy about Indian Laurel, so I don't know, maybe a Warmoth neck. And at that point, it's like, well, just buy a more expensive one. But the problem is, it's not a lot of more expensive options, or expensive. Yeah, I want the more expensive one. It's not a lot of better options than the Squier. You have the Player 3, which is nice, and if the shorter scale length is what's attracting me to the guitar, then perhaps that'd be a good option. It's missing the controls up here, from what I can tell, and it might not be as light as this. I like light guitars for the same reason as like with my hands with tendonitis, which they're pretty much better now. But when you have to lift them up, when you lift things or grab it and pick it up, that puts strain on your hands. So um, yeah, it's nice having a lighter guitar. Anyway, overall, I think it's a pretty great little guitar. So let me know what you think. All right. Bye for now.